Beyond the Veil.
Hi, everybody.
Fun.
Mariah, Megan, and Zach are here, and we are going to be doing the Beyond the Veil podcast. And today's topic is going to be talking about like Slenderman and things related to Slenderman and the Boogeyman, right?
Yes. I'm going to say I'm not Zach that you've ever seen these two beautiful ghouls with. I'm Zach, Mr. Eyeliner from New York.
That's awesome. Yeah. So.
You did a beautiful job, my beautiful ghoul.
Yes.
Also want to say I'm very proud to be a part of two crazier than me. Know the supernatural, the oddities world, everything beyond the mystique of the veil. These are these two people right here, these two spirits right here. And I'm just joining them for the ride.
Yes. Okay, so today, first ever podcast, Slenderman, the Boogeyman, other lore based on that. And one of the biggest things in popular news is the not so recent anymore, but the Slenderman stabbing that happened back in 2014.
That was back by you, wasn't it?
Yes, that's in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
I read about them. Isn't the person getting released from the mental institution?
Yes. So Anissa Weir, I think that's how you say her name. She was already released in 2021. Morgan Geyser is the one who got stuck with a lot more time. She ended up getting 40 years to life versus Anissa got 25 to life. So now she is finally getting out of the psychiatric hospital, which is actually northern Wisconsin. They've put her in the big one, and she is set to be released. Huh? Yeah. No, if you're a lifer, they make sure you have all the accommodations.
Maybe she might have a black and white TV now. Who knows?
We'll see. But yeah, so she is getting released, and that was a thing that they didn't think was going to happen.
I can tell you from my point of view of that case is it was based on mental health and mental health awareness, and lawyers within certain states have used what we're going to talk about in this podcast of stories that became from the internet. They have used these subjects, like the internet has been programming younger people's minds, and they are now going through that thing like, oh, put them in a safe place, a mental hospital. Sometimes it doesn't work in your plea, sometimes it does. But in this situation, it did for one, it didn't for the other, you know?
Yeah.
Wasn't in mental hospital, speaking of, didn't just recently, actually, which this is going a little off, but didn't John Lennon's person who assassinated him just get released too? Chapman?
Not that I heard.
That is something that they're fighting still, because that I know people close to that. He was supposed to, but I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen.
No, I mean, I don't.
You know what the reason why he was going to get that release in the first place? All the money of the royalties he's made off of his books, 2 movies, a documentary, and actually fangirls who actually, I'm talking girls, not women. There's now still fangirls.
There's always fangirls.
Yeah. No, I'm talking like not 20 yet, not 20 years old. I'd say girls, like that way. They learn about him on the internet, and they're like, oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god, he stood up for his rights. He had something, you know?
I mean, to be fair, I was a Charles Manson fangirl and did write him. I only got 1 letter back, only 1, but I was that fangirl, so.
I mean, I
wrote him too a lot, and I got letters.
You two don't have anything to be like about, because guess what? Axl Rose wore his fucking face on the shirt when he performed on videos, for God's sakes. He had Charles Manson's face on a t-shirt in many music videos and many live shows. So I think whatever you two did, that's okay. But he made him a bigger rock star that way.
Oh hell yeah. That's how it works. Popular culture, the internet was a huge thing. And I mean, so the whole reason why these girls did this is it was 2014. This came out in 2009 is when the original Slenderman story came out. And I mean, you have to think about how the internet was forming, how the chat rooms were forming, you know, and just, I mean, I don't know. I was still pretty young when that happened. Closer to an adult than they are, but
I mean,
the internet was wild.
That time in 2009, this is the whole thing that started that we have to actually mention GIFs, like GIFs, like all the little cat videos and everything. This is how creepypasta really started with this story. But the GIF stuff, people created Slenderman on little like videos of their
Yeah.
own making, and
Yes.
it was their own imagination. There was different versions from China,
It's a
from Australia.
Slenderverse.
Yeah, it's like a
No,
whole
Slenderverse.
so
every country.
they dug back and there's supposed historical like information. So we're talking Brazilian cave paintings, Egyptian
Oh yeah.
hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
There's like the German woodcuts, and then in Roman and English mythology, there's supposedly like cases of Slenderman there. So
It all starts back with the boogeyman, I
yeah.
think. They didn't know. It
Well,
just
and
depends on what
well,
cultures.
anytime you create something in any decade, you always have to relate back to the boogeyman because the boogeyman is our nightmare as a child. And anything going forward has to be related, has to be thanked to the boogeyman, in my opinion.
Yes, that and Bloody Mary.
Yeah, for women, Bloody Mary. For a lot of little boys scared, yeah, boogeyman.
Boogeyman, Bloody Mary. I mean,
So
it's
apparently the guy Victor Surge, when he put it up on the Something Awful forum, so
Mhm.
he said that he was inspired by the Insidious monster, the Mist, Mothman, and then I think there was one other, but that was where
Mothman.
yes,
Going back to Mothman
it's
again.
always Mothman. It's always
Always
Mothman.
Mothman. Mothman is a huge influence, and
So
people don't get it.
I actually really like Slenderman. It's not my favorite of all of like the
Yeah,
lores or anything by any means, but the creation behind it and that creativity is what I like. Is that how it grew? So his face had gauze on it, I think, originally, and then we move past that to where his face morphs into whatever your fear is. It looks different for everyone else. It's like it can be whatever you want it to be, you know?
but yeah, and I want to say I don't think one person ever created Slenderman. I think Slenderman became a pop thing because thousands upon thousands kept recreating Slenderman in their own version. Like we're creating right now. We're saying things that are real, but how many times have you heard a different version of what Slenderman is?
So
But
it
the
was
true
the
facts,
image. It was just
yeah,
the image that he created for a Photoshop contest. And
yes, a
then,
Photoshop contest. That was the whole truth behind it. It was all that. That's all it was. That's all it was. And it took the internet. All the crazy little Red Bull drinking, like Blimpies eating in the night at that
I
time,
was
we're
Monster
aging
back
ourselves.
in
Yeah,
2009,
like
but
yeah, like that.
No, Red Bull.
They
Red
kept
Bull.
going with it. Like, and then what happened was Law and Order SVU took it because that was that popular one time. They had Glasgow Man in Central Park in an episode. Was our show like CSI had it one time. Then like a lot of Criminal Minds had it on one show. A different name now.
Yeah.
yeah.
So many shows ran with the theme of Slenderman, but not call it Slenderman really
Yeah.
because he couldn't. But they used very like Thin Man. They used, and then he had the Slenderman really horrible movie that did nothing for the franchise at all or the theme of Slenderman. No, but it became so big that people were trying to make their own version of something that you and I, all three of us, know was just a simple little thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Right.
supposed to be a big thing.
So, I mean, looking into this, I found that Slenderman cares nothing for children. I have found one of the most popular things is that he murders children, that he is only seen at night from 3 to 4 a.m. But then I've also seen that he doesn't care. He can walk out in daylight and scare the crap out of you. That sunlight does nothing to him, that he doesn't exist in the shadows.
Slenderman kind of reminds me of Albert Fish. They're kind of describing Albert Fish in a way, looking at that aspect of bringing in a serial killer. It's very
Yes.
Albert Fish like,
It
hating the children and the way he looked. Even his face was not. It was
yes.
sunken in. He
But
had
the
sunken
portrayal
deep.
of his look, though, as you're saying that's true. But they made him look like, with what you're saying is true too. He's a long, lengthy, very well dressed thing.
I was going to
Like
say, I
it's
think
out of a
Albert
Tim
Fish
Burton
was in a
cartoon.
suit.
Yeah.
But he
Albert
does
Fish.
look romantically evil in a way.
I mean, he's basically Jack Skellington without a face.
Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But like, I think Jack even sleeps from 3 to that time. You know, that's a little. What kids are up at that time? Yeah, you know.
I don't know. I mean, we all know Jack Skellington. He's adorable.
Yeah, like I
Hey,
don't think I would run away
he's
from the
right there.
planet.
He's right there.
He's a little bit of a
Oh.
narcissist from time to time, but we love him.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, they call it the Slenderverse, right? And I mean, we could just go on right now and make up our own lore, say that that's what we saw in the shadows, and make it our whole story, and just add it to the Slenderverse.
I live across the street from a park. I saw a really creepy thing that looked like a drag queen turned half swamp thing wearing a very sexy outfit with high heels, and it was lurking in the shadows, and it touched me in my back as I walked home, and
But
it
you
dove
live in
away
New
in the
York,
shadows.
so that's no surprise.
That's every day.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's like your everyday life. Like,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You got that.
what are we?
That was just a wild night last week. That's all.
Shit happens, you know. Like, I can't really tell you how it starts, but no, I think that
$5 is $5. You'll always remember your first William.
if you want to take a picture of me, $5 for a picture, right there. Real tattoo, real story. But yeah, I love that we're talking about this for our first episode together, because I think creepypasta really is the main universe we should dive into now, because everybody was bored. We had the internet, no new TV episodes coming out, writer's strike. All of a sudden, people who have no talent, who have ideas, go on and create this universe called creepypasta.
Yeah. I mean,
And
creepypasta was amazing for its time.
It was brilliant. Yeah, it was brilliant.
I mean, it got us off like Faces of Horror and all of that stuff, and to
or
Right.
like for some of you guys who we can age out there, you remember Dead Journal?
yes.
Yes.
I knew you two remember Dead Journal.
But yeah, oh man, Faces of Horror every weekend renting that.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I had more friends. I have to write my Dead Journal today. You know, like I have to write my Dead Journal like this, like all the time, doing that motion. I'm like, what that? And then they made a male version of it, and it's like, okay, no,
Yeah.
not for me, not happening. No.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, like I said, the internet was a wild place. And I mean, even as late as 2014, there was still very popular, like YouTube in 2014 was like when it was on the up and up. So we had a bunch of conspiracy theories coming around, people like being popular with those type things. Creepypastas always, with the creepy voice, people reading those off did just skyrocketed. There was so much stuff. There was obviously like makeup videos and whatever, and it was like a heyday. 2014, 2015, 2016 was like it for YouTube. So there was just so much.
They believe anything. They would believe anything they saw on YouTube. They would believe anything. And that's what became that caused such mass panic. Remember Florida when the Slender Man thing happened? And then remember Florida when the clown thing happened? Like Florida,
the clown thing was everywhere.
There were guys on the news saying, "If I see that clown, I will put a bullet in his head. It's my God, freaking right." I'm like, good luck. You're gonna kill somebody in a Halloween costume and go to federal prison, but all right.
I'm curious to know who started that, because it all starts with just like a couple of people dicking around being like, hey, you know what we should do?
Do you really think you think anybody's ever gonna admit that shit? Because they are looking at a lot of time.
Not now.
No, not now. No. I mean, I fucked around and found out. Me and my friends were the ones that were behind the Storm Area 51 project.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was a good time.
Okay, your thing did not cause a whole outbreak of bath salts, though.
No.
A couple of people got arrested, though.
Yeah, well, my bad. That I didn't.
That's their fault, all right?
Maybe we should edit that out.
Hey, if you're too slow, you go.
It was just great because people were making a plan, like attack plans and running like Naruto or whatever it's called way where you know the anime run where they're like
Yes.
like and sending in
Oh,
Britney Spears on this sideline or whoever over here, and I'm like, oh my god, like it started off as nothing but a group that me and my friends made on Facebook.
That's always how it works. And then one
okay.
person tells the right person, and then next thing you know, the whole thing is viral on TikTok.
And what's so funny is you just said something that people need to listen to. You and your friends were having a good time, being funny, being intelligent. We're not meant anything, but yet you started a revolution for something that none of you even took seriously. Put it on YouTube, and all of a sudden, people think it's like the War of the Worlds when Orson Welles did that radio thing. It's really like, who are you? Are you a political senator or something to say it? No, who are you to say? Like, you guys are like just making this up. People still believe in but people they don't even know that stuff. Come on, this is
Yeah.
how this is how much the internet is so crazy. You can say anything on the internet and they'll believe it.
Oh yeah,
If you
I
have the
mean,
right power and numbers behind it, absolutely.
Well, like she and her friends obviously did and did not have the power. They were smart enough and made it well enough where they put it there.
it was just
Holy crap!
funny. It was
Yeah.
just funny. That's why. I mean, it was hilarious. I mean, I've got a group on Facebook with some friends, and we've got like over 500,000 followers, and it's all a group that's all it's called is a group where you're either a farmer or a cow. So you talk like a farmer, or you can or send in like little cow memes and stuff. That's all it is. It's just me and a group of people messed around and made
I love
A
that so much,
farmer,
though.
a farmer and a cow. It sounds like a reality show in like Nashville somewhere.
It does, actually. Starring
Hey,
Paris
farmer,
Hilton.
farmer wants a wife is an actual show on Fox where a farmer wants to meet a girl from somewhere else and and they have like a bunch of dates. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. They have
I
that
believe
though.
you.
It's so dumb.
I mean, I used to subscribe to a lot of stuff when I was a kid. Like back in that era and exploring the internet, there was so many things, and I think that's how I ended up being like the fucking weirdo that I am. You know what I mean? I said Faces of Horror earlier. I meant Faces of Death. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
Faces of Death.
I mean,
That's
I
what
have to correct Faces of Death, I just have to say to you, you are really a really fucking horrible person if you watch these videos. I'm like, damn, I used to tell them my videos. So I'm like,
yes.
this guy is a serial killer if he watches that. It's like, why? Come on. That's
it
real
is.
videos
No.
of people dying. No.
Yeah,
Fine.
no, there's really fucked up things I shouldn't have been, corners of the internet that I shouldn't have been, like the Pain Olympics.
Oh,
If you guys don't want to
gosh.
admit to knowing what that is, it's completely fine.
I know. No, not
No,
again.
no, I know what it is.
Yes.
We'll
Not
just,
again. Not again.
The
you know what?
internet
You
is
wanna,
fucked up.
if anybody wants to actually know, that'll be on the Patreon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if
We need
you
to talk
want to
about
know,
that at some point.
if you get on our Patreon, we'll talk about it in depth. I will have to have a bucket throwing up when I talk about it. Yet, I will talk about it if we're on Patreon, yes.
Real-time reactions.
Yes. But I mean, I was like 13 years old at the time. I mean, I was probably the same age, if not much older than these girls, watching these things. Like, those are the things that I was subjected to. So I know what it's like to be on the internet at such like an impressionable young age.
Oh, I do too. Chat rooms. Date me
Yes.
back right now.
Remember
Chat rooms.
Yes.
AOL chat?
chat room.
AOL chat?
AOL chat,
Yep.
yes.
And
And
I
meeting up with people?
Oh my god. I got
Absolutely.
catfish at like 17 years old. I went with my friend, took like a LAR, met this person. It looked like a linebacker. I was like, and my friend's girl looked like a big ass bodyguard 16-year-old somehow. Not like a woman, but not what he thought either. I'm like, oh my god, we got double catfished.
Oh my god.
Before that word even existed on a TV show or that movie. It's like, wow. But again, there's two people here who are a little older. So
Yeah.
I remember when the internet first started, like the first time I ever heard the internet was here. Like I was like, what's the internet? And like
No
I was
shit.
like a kid and my family couldn't even afford a computer. and everybody's like at school, like, yeah, we have the internet, we have AOL, and
Once I figured out what chat rooms are, I think I was in 3rd grade when I finally got, like, I had an AOL account previous to this, but I actually got my own, like, AIM account and was able to, like, talk to, like, my little 3rd grade friends and, like, you
oh,
know,
I miss AIM. AIM was so cute. It was
I
like,
loved it.
hiya, how ya doing?
AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
You could be like literally with a learning curve right there and not really understand how to spell correctly, and they still got it. I loved it.
I mean, that was the whole thing in, like, those chat rooms. It's like you didn't spell anything. It was all BRB, like, whatever. Like, it was
Yeah.
acronyms. That's how you, that was, like, the cute thing
And
to do.
it's like B B B, meaning bathroom, B back.
There were
That,
That
so
was
many.
actually a thing. Yeah, there was so many weird things depending on the group you were hanging out with on there. It was
yeah.
weird.
But I don't know. To even circle back, it's like, can you put yourself in the mindset? Like, take yourself to being 12 years old, and one of these girls actually had, from what has been shown, a very stable, like, family life. The other one, not so much. I think her, it was Meyer. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and her father also had it. There's also some talk about abuse from her father, which is one of her motives, but that wasn't found out until later. I don't think
No,
that was in the original case.
I still don't think that's actually proven though either. I don't. I
No,
think
and
that
he's deceased
this
now, so there's
exactly that it came out when after he was deceased, and
yeah.
a lot of the friends of the family said he was a very caring father to her, and he was trying to deal with it as best he can. She came from a place of schizophrenia where I give her mental health pass. The other one came from everything that all of us don't have, loving, rich, everything she needed. She did not like that world. She was a sociopath here. No money, all the spoils, nothing meant anything to her. She needed to find a friend that could be her accomplice, be her anchor to do what she really wanted in her mind.
Have you ever
And
realized
that's it.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was
she was waiting for her counterpart. And I think she's the real mastermind.
counterparts. Yeah, that's
That's
another thing we're gonna have to, we're gonna dive into on a different episode, or counterparts, like people that who you probably, people that didn't meet, would things have been different. Like if, Bittaker
Oh,
and
of course.
Norse never became the
there's
toolbox killers,
there's
and
so many. And I mean, so you have to think about it. It's like how many male serial killers there were. And I mean, a lot of them carried on and had children and wives and everything. How many of those wives knew things and helped and egged things on? And they may not be like counterpart, you know what I mean? To the sense of that they were like active the entire time, but like a lot of them knew.
But like say a serial killer, by definition, they have that gene. They do this, right? And it's different territories of serial killers. They're a man, but they hate a certain type and they kill for a certain type. But they find that perfect person and they're married for, say, 40 years. He's never hit her, never said any verbal abuse to her, has the kids. She's never had anybody like him. They get married. That kind of person, no matter what she hears from him or they hear from him, they don't really want to hear it, and they're never going to hear it because they love him and they were not from any love. They find people who are never from a loving family. They don't target someone who's from a great family. They'll never have somebody from a beautiful, they were raised great, they have everybody to talk to. No, they usually go after and they find people who need love.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
that's a huge thing. And like, I think that's what it is with these girls, is that one had a sick mind and was exploring this, and the other one was sick and crazy enough because only one did the stabbings. And it was
Yes.
said that she was egging her on like the entire time, 19 times. Like, she was
I,
egging her on.
I
So
yeah.
that
Okay.
it's not a one person thing, even though one person held the knife. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let me ask you: the one with the mental disorder or the one without the mental disorder is going to suffer more time? Which one?
Is gonna what?
The one with the mental disorder,
Yeah.
that could be, or the one without is going to serve the most time.
Well, the one with, obviously.
Exactly, because the one that you're saying, I'm not going to say anything, but she's a bully. She is somebody who knew she picked the right person, the victim, to be her friend, and knew how to push her buttons, egg her on to do and to get her hands dirty. But it's her as the puppet master. She will do it again one day. She
Time
will
will
do that
tell.
again. She
Time will
Time
will.
will
tell.
tell.
She will find another Patsy because she's gonna always be the charming girl that can find a less charming girl and get them to do her bidding.
So the thing that I'm actually worried about when it comes to this case is they were 12 in 2014. How old are they? In their 20s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to think about like how there's movies about them. There's, more than one podcast about them.
Right.
And
They're
naming them
gonna.
specifically.
How are they
Yep.
gonna act when they come out and hear all this and see all
No, so
this
they
stuff?
can't live normal lives. What happens when they get on TikTok? How are you going to get a job? How are you going to anything? You know? Like,
But
how do
Jules,
you?
who gets money off of all these rights? Do you know anything? Like, did you hear about this? When she gets out, her family had made some kind of deals under the radar, and she's getting money when they talk about her.
Well, look at
She's the other one isn't. She's getting money. She's got all these royalties.
the public conception now of Gypsy Rose. It completely switched. When
That's
she
what
was
I'm
in
saying.
jail, everybody was like, "Oh, poor
Yeah.
Gypsy, poor Gypsy." Now that she's out, everybody's like, "Wait a minute."
She's basically an influencer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's sort of the same as that. Is that what I'm thinking? Is that like, I mean, when you're in a mental institution like that, like she hasn't used a phone in a very long time, not like a cell phone. Like she may be aware of it. I know they have news and family members who come in and talk to them and explain what the world is like, but still like a lot of things have happened from that time, what that internet looked like to what it looks like now.
Like,
Oh my God! But how dangerous is it for any of these two to get out and have the internet we have now?
That's
The
what
dark web.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
they.
If you have all those delusions and everything, like I don't know how
Wow.
smart these girls are, but like I mean, one's been out for a while. I haven't heard anything about her, but the spotlight has always been on Morgan Geyser.
Yeah.
She has been the one. She is the one who actively did the stabbings. That
Because
she has the mental conditions.
Morgan is the easiest one to have a story about. The other one seems like white bread,
Yes.
Well, same
And
thing with.
she,
Go ahead.
no, say,
Same thing with Gypsy Rose.
yeah,
Look at her. Look at the person that I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Nick
But
something.
yeah, look at him. He had
He was
mental
also from
issues.
Wisconsin.
Oh, jeez.
you were telling us a
mental
lot about
issues.
Wisconsin actually
There's-
right now.
There's
And
a
Right.
lot.
He got life. He's never gonna. Hey,
No, I know that there is talks about him trying to rearrange his sentencing and do all of that, but
yeah, a lot of people have brought that up. Like, a lot of people are behind him now and rallying
yeah,
and trying.
Yeah, too little, too late.
it's
Kind of scenario.
possible, but because how heated it is, I don't know. Somebody had to go down for it, and obviously it wasn't Gypsy. So, you know what I mean? It's just who goes down for it, who takes all of that blame, and in this case, it was 110% Morgan.
So my whole point is like that's like you're saying with Morgan coming out. She came out into and she was an automatic. Everybody knew who she was, but then everybody's perception changed of her.
Yeah.
She went from being poor gypsy to
PR, 100%. She had so many people behind her, PR wise. Hollywood has her rights, everything. They bought her. She's owned. That's why. She's owned. She's got everybody grooming her now to do that. It's not just her.
My
story.
question back then was she being groomed then too, and then she's still
No.
being groomed now?
You only get groomed when you're almost when a company sees like, oh, she's gonna get out.
I don't
People
know.
don't put $1 into you until they actually know you're getting out. They
I
don't put a
I
dollar.
do subscribe to the fact that her mom was a con artist and some part of her knew what she was doing. So I think that's telling in a lot of things that she does. It's very scammy, it's very conny. You know what I mean? That like she's
Mm-hmm.
aware of this. She knows that if she acts a certain way, does a certain thing, has drama, does all of this, then she's going to get paid for it.
You're talking about a girl whose name is Gypsy Rose. She groomed her mother, groomed her from day one. This whole thing, her being in that situation, I think it was all a long game. And there was always a plan. Because guess what? We had nothing. That's what they're saying to each other. Mama, we got nothing. We're gonna make something. And that was it. And now they got something. The mom's probably her manager.
Mm.
A lot of these people, they do these things, and that's the thing I want to say about us. I want us all to say this together. Are we going to be the old school bullshit? No. We're going to be the new school. Wake the fuck up. This is the new world of how people become serial killers, how they are in cults. We are going to not talk about things that everybody's talked about. We're going to change the system with our talks because we don't give a fuck and we talk about real shit. You want to talk about
It's so
female
true.
serial killers? That's us. We're going to talk
And
about
speaking of
crazy trans.
Morgan, so when Morgan went in, how old was she again?
12.
12.
Well,
Yeah.
I think when you commit I think she can come out and get a new identity. I think that's what some of them are allowed to do over
I
if
know
they're
the other
young.
one didn't. She was
Didn't?
she
Okay.
was no, she was released to the care of her um
Trying to remember that.
do mother. I
So
don't
I take
remember
it Morgan's
which.
gonna be released into the care of somebody then too.
So from my understanding is that later on, like in the beginning, she had a good relationship with her mother and everything, but now she's estranged. I don't know if that has changed with her being released or not. Um, she would have to almost certainly be in the care of somebody after a long like psychiatric hold like that. You can't
Yeah, you can just. I mean, if
send
they,
him. Like, is it like a
but they
halfway
do
house
though.
for?
But there are some
No,
people that do though, because what happens if you have nobody and they're not going to keep you? They're going to put you back out on the street if
I
you
mean,
have
a
no.
nobody.
lot of
Some
people in long-term hold like can release themselves, so it's a little different.
if you're high profile like that, trust me, the state, whatever the hell state you live in, they'll appoint a person to be somebody there for you.
I mean, that has to be a condition. I mean, she was sentenced to 40 years to
Yeah.
life.
There's no way that you're not going to be taken care of by somebody that would eyes on you.
I don't know. I mean, like, I understand why people called for like actual jail time for both girls, for actual jail time and everything. But like these girls were 12 years old, so, and I mean, did have a mental problems, you know? And so I get the need for the
But
psychiatric, but how hard is that to
but I want to say something.
long
Like
term?
you're talking about this year about two girls, right? But before you say this, let's rewind and talk about Columbine. Let's talk about all the school shootings that made people not care how old you are anymore. When kids started killing kids in schools, creepypasta started putting kids in stories where I think you should maybe have left out the kids in creepypasta because kids were inspired by it, and it was still not the right time. It wasn't. It was way too early still to like have kids be influenced by that kind of shit, you know? Because they
Yeah.
don't care if you're a kid at that time. Now they care. Not then.
Well, what was the movie
It,
from the
it
80s
laid
where
on.
they like went to go poke a dead body or whatever? They,
Stand by
Stand
me.
by
yes,
me.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Like
but that's
you can't.
also
They
like
didn't have the internet then.
yeah, you didn't have people being like, these two little girls should like beep 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 bleep bleep bleep
Kids
bleep. You
are
know, like
naturally drawn to morbid, creepy, weird
Well,
things.
are any of
yes.
are any of your kids, Eddie? I'm not going to divulge, but any of your kids drawn to weird, creepy things at all?
I mean,
I know they're young.
I have boys, so a lot of times, it's boogers and gross things, you know what I mean? It's a lot of
Yeah.
poop and fart jokes. I
Well,
mean,
that is gross.
but they are 110% not turned away. They don't shy away from any of the bones I have in my office. If they see dead bugs lying around that, I'm going to make into something, that doesn't bother them. They're interested, especially my oldest. What animal is this? My youngest still calls them dinosaur bones sometimes. So, when he's 2 years old, I didn't know how he's going to react. But they're not turned off by it. And I just explain it to them, that nobody like went out and killed these animals. I mean, deer, but that's for meat. It's a little different. Um, and
Mhm.
that they just okay, they just go with the flow. They have
That's
antlers and
awesome.
bones and bugs and whatever, and they're not like grossed out by it.
But I want to say to you, like you telling us this, how many moms you think can intellectually talk to, like, say you just said 2 years old, a child, and explain that and they understand it? That's awesome. And I think that that's more dedication to bonding with your kids, where you actually get your interests and tell them about your interests. Maybe if you like them or not, they don't have to like them, but they might like them. Let them get an opportunity to like them, though.
It depends.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes both ways. I had a lot of time to spend with them when they were younger and develop that. Not everybody does, but it's
Yeah.
I'm interested in the things that they're interested in, because I have to be, even though sometimes I'm not. Then, they're interested in my stuff. Like, when I make my jewelry and do all of that, that's a big thing, is that like Nolan, the youngest one, he will come up to me and he'll be like, "What are you making this time?" And I'll show him and he just goes, "Wow." It's the best thing on the face of the planet. But like, I mean, he scribbled on a piece of paper and I'm like, "Oh, honey, look at you go." I'm excited for him. So he does the same to me. I don't know if he actually likes it or not, but he tried.
That is so awesome.
But I want to go back to the whole like what Slenderman finally became them. Slenderman and creepypasta became pop culture. It became a joke. It became a history, a mark on a decade for us. It became like VH1 shows. Oh, what happened that year? That's what creepypasta was last mentioned in. It became cosplay. Slenderman became cosplay. Slenderman became cartoon characters. Actually, a cartoon on YouTube eventually of
Yes.
funniness. It just kept going, and it never understood that two girls destroyed their lives because of this, and other people never cared, and it never meant for it, but it kept going to a PG level of making money. It was a beast,
Yeah.
but nobody
No,
focused on
still
that.
to this day, you can get like a Minecraft, and I'm
Yes,
sure in Fortnite and
Slenderman
everything,
Minecraft.
there's like little like sleeves, packages, whatever's that you can have in there, and like, come on now, it doesn't end. But I mean, so there's Slenderman, the Rake, Momo was a really big one,
Oh
and
my, I remember
Jeff the Killer.
Momo and
Jeff the
oh
Killer was
Jeff
the
yeah.
other
the
one.
Jeff the Killer almost made it bigger than Slenderman, but they dropped the ball on Jeff the Killer
It's
big time.
I think it depends who you ask, but I'm pretty sure that you've heard of creepypasta and other sites like that because of Slenderman, the Rake, and Jeff the Killer, and that Momo was kind of a big thing.
I have to say Jeff the Killer is more, if my opinion, I would take to the bank. Like I would do a whole franchise of Jeff the Killer.
Yeah.
I think the movie would have been a lot better than
You guys
Slenderman.
are not gonna believe this. I've never heard of Jeff the Killer. I'm gonna be 100% honest here. Should I look it up?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
We
literally I heard it so many times for cosplay people. That's all they talked about, and I had to know what it was eventually.
Maybe I've seen it from the conventions, but I don't know what it is off the top. So, but Momo, I remember Momo. My blood artist friend did a painting of her in blood.
So Momo
I,
actually creeped me out because of YouTube again.
I
Before
actually don't know
YouTube
Momo.
Child. Momo is like this creepy like girl face, like she has
Okay.
like a banana mouth. So Momo creeped me out because of YouTube before they had like YouTube Kids locked down the way it is, and it still sucks. Um Adults were taking children's cartoons and sneaking
Oh,
in. So it'd be like a
I
jump scare
Ah.
and a whole bunch of
Oh,
other
I've
I know
seen
stuff.
Momo. No, I have. I know. I didn't know that's her name. I have friends with these tattoos on them.
I've seen
Yes.
Jeff the Killer before
I
in
was gonna say
cosplay.
you had to have.
You know what Momo looks like? Honestly, it looks like if you watch Terrifier 2 and 3, it looks like that. That's what her face looks like. Yes.
Yeah.
All like he bit her face off. That's the Momo. That's her. That's the same looking version from Terrifier.
Yeah.
I don't like. I've only seen Terrifier 1. I don't like that.
I'm telling you, if you watch Terrifier 2 when
It's-
she like cut her face off, that's her right there.
I mean, this is gonna be a story for another day too, but I don't understand it. I don't. Like Terrifier, it's not.
Okay, I'll give you the stance from a makeup artist point of view. Makeup artist writes a script, directs a movie, puts a whimsical character, designs all the makeup, writes a great script. He goes for doing the best score, the best shit in your pants. I'm going to scare you. I'm going to disgust you. He does things that prosthetic artists, makeup artists don't know how the fuck they did. He didn't do it for like regular people. He doesn't care about any of the regular horror fans. He cares about
That's fair.
Tom Savini and these horror makeup artists of his history saying, I don't know how he did that. So these horror fans, these horror makeup artists, these legends are praise him because I honestly love the story. I love Art the Clown because it's such this generation's.
I don't mind the character so much.
Bad character.
I don't mind the character so much. It's not like my favorite, I guess. But I mean, when it came out, like people are puking in movie theaters, and it's the grossest thing ever, and like
that was only in one scene in 3, and if you watch that scene in 3 in the theaters, and you drank a little bit before, I think you might puke.
I don't
think gore doesn't bother me. I can literally from.
Is it done well? Yes, it is done well.
Did you watch 3?
I understand that. No, I haven't.
Okay, get a little bit tipsy by yourself, turn the lights off, eat something, watch a scene in 3. I'm just going to say a shower scene. And then you call us and you say, Zach, you were right. Or not.
Fair
enough. And the same with you. Because I'm telling you, that's why. These women that a lot of people got drunk when they saw that movie. They went in there drunk. They saw that scene. And if
you're a person who is used to horror movies being just as bad as like, Final Destination and, like other like, I don't know, very Hollywood done horror movies with a lot of CGI and ketchup blood that's not even the same color as blood, but
Meg, please tell me you're not going to compare what you just said to what you talked to Terrifier at all.
I'm just saying I'm saying that people who watch those movies regularly, jumping from that to Terrifier, I could see how they would throw up because you're not like accustomed. And they maybe didn't watch Faces of Death at 11 years old. Like,
yeah, right.
Exactly. Or say like Damien Leone, who heard about like, oh, they had one CGI scene in Terrifier 2, and everybody stormed the internet and the social media platforms. Damien is a makeup artist. Why did he use that one little CGI scene? And
sometimes like, CGI is necessary.
And he said, fuck you all. And he went into 3. He's like, look at assholes. I'm going to spend this big budget on having 20 makeup artists show off their talent and do the most stunts that you've never seen. And guess what? We got them.
I mean, I respect it.
Shit.
I do. I super respect it. I'm just saying it's not. I guess I don't see the hype. It's not because in the realm of movies and actual like film, I think like everything else like I respect, but it's just not my cup of tea.
I'm dedicated to the storyline. The storyline has made it to me right now. Like anybody who's a big fan of the movie, if you've seen 3, now you know what the end game is, and I love it. I love how we waited to see what the storyline really is for the Art the Clown character, and it's very supernatural and it's very awesome. I mean, yeah, if you guys could just like fast forward through some of these scenes, you hear the actual story, I think you'd be okay. I gotta say, I don't know if so many people could deal with the whole kind of ending scene. I don't know if you watch Faces of Death back then, I don't know if you can watch that scene because even people who watch that can't watch that scene.
That doesn't bother me. I can literally sit there and watch Autopsy and shit.
Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna watch it alive for both of you on our next, and we're gonna do this on camera or not. And I'm just gonna watch your faces. You two are gonna happen to be on the camera. I'm just gonna watch you two. When I point out, ready for it, boom,
There we go.
I mean, I've dealt with death. So, I mean, I don't.
Now, when I say to you, people who've worked in the industry have created dead bodies, who've worked in cemetery plots. They are so fucked up about how they don't understand how they filmed the prosthetic makeup sequences for the scene. I'm trying to explain to you, and I can't spoil it. I don't understand it. I've been trying to
I'll
talk.
watch the second and third and figure out. And then
No, this one scene in the third, I don't get it still. I don't know what they use. Like 18 makeup artists, we're on these chats on Facebook, and we're like, I don't know. Duh. We still don't know. But like, how did you do that?
Well, it's a
See that?
secret.
it's a secret.
Well, that actress has never been in interviews afterwards, so I don't know.
You know that person's going to be hired for a very long time. Like lots of
Yeah.
other films,
Well,
so it's okay.
Art the Clown. Well, the actor plays Art the Clown is going to play, Winnie the Pooh on that. Not Winnie with like Mickey Mouse on the Mickey on the boat thing. The story that came out, the artificial
Yeah.
Mickey. Yeah, he's playing him too. And they're trying to ban that. Disney's trying to like not have that come out.
Wait, Steamboat Willie? Are you talking about Steamboat Willie?
Yeah. He's playing him. Yep, that's what he's playing. You see a picture of him. He's like,
Is it a horror film or no?
Oh, horror gore film. Yeah.
Well, they did have Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, they couldn't put him in it though.
Oh, I think you're talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yes.
No, this Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat thing. That's what
yeah.
That's who he's playing.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's it's hilarious. It's
I'm like, you guys are way too British for me. When I was watching that, like, it's way too like your accents are annoying me, Cockney.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that.
You don't like British horror comedy?
No, like, I just think the outfits look kind of ridiculous at certain points. Like, could you put a little bit more money into that, guys?
I mean, that's one of my favorite things about those types of horror movies is sometimes the lack of budget just makes it for me.
Problem for me is they had quite the budget.
Yeah.
They did not really use it correctly. I'm like, what? When I found how much money a movie was made for, I'm like, couldn't you make like, Eeyore look a little better?
You gotta pay the actor somehow.
Yeah. Sorry, they just pay the actors for blowjobs on set to get ready for their stunts. That's about it.
Well, that's not going in the podcast.
Well,
that's the extra footage that you can put on Patreon for people to pay to watch.
Make my job harder over here. I love it. Okay.
By the way, Megs looks like she's out of like a David Lynch film. I love it.
Oh, it's awesome.
You look so pale and white. Like, did you put powder on? You look so David Lynch. Like,
no, this is just my skin. Okay,
really.
I'm ridiculously fucking pale. When you put lights on me, I'm a goddamn ghost.
I swear to God, you look like you're a lost highway right now, and Bill Pullman's gonna come up to you like, "The fuck's the matter with you, man? I'm in your house right now."
Solid. All right.
Awesome.
With that, I am gonna pause for a little ad break here. I hope you enjoyed the chaotic first episode of Beyond the Veil podcast. Stay tuned every other Wednesday for a new episode, and check out the video version on YouTube Fridays. We currently have no sponsors, but if you're interested in having a spot, please contact one of us at beyondtvcontact@gmail.com. If you would like to support us, look out for our Linktree and other links to shop Zach's anti-bullying eyeliners and my collection of handmade jewelry and oddities. Thanks for listening.